Hello, happy Wednesday night. It is Wednesday, June the 14th. I always have to look at my phone here to see what the date is. I just can't keep the date in my mind, but it's Wednesday, June the 14th. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week. Hope you are having a great week so far, wherever you are in the world and whatever time you're watching this. It is, of course, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's the time I am popping on here. And this is part 3 of this series that we've been doing. I started this series last month in May, and this is called 70s Film Frenzy. Of course, one of my favorite decades of cinema of all the decades is the 1970s. I love films from that period. I love the aesthetic of that period. And so in parts 1 and 2, in each of those parts, I've covered 10 films from the 1970s, and I'm gonna do the same thing in this part 3 tonight. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about these films and just hearing what some of your favorites are as well. So, of course, tonight we're doing 70s Film Frenzy. Actually gonna be doing a back-to-back because tomorrow I'm anticipating our friends at the Criterion Collection potentially announcing their September 2023 titles. And if we get that announcement tomorrow, I'll plan to come back on tomorrow evening and share my reaction to those announcements. So this could be a back-to-back live stream week for me, which is pretty unusual. So we'll see what happens. If we get those announcements tomorrow, I'll plan to come on and share my thoughts and reactions and look forward to hearing what you think about those announcements. But tonight we are talking about Criterion Collection titles. Gosh, tomorrow we're doing that. Tonight we're talking about 70s Film Frenzy. And I've got 10 films I'm going to share with you tonight. Interestingly enough, 5 of these films I have on physical, 5 I don't own on physical. So I've watched them either streaming or I've seen them in the past. And I'm just going to share with you what I think about them and want to hear what you think about these films as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump in here and let's see who is out here tonight. It's a lot going on in the world of physical media and entertainment, of course. And I haven't had a chance to watch this yet, but John Wick 4. I wanted to see this in the theater so bad, but just did not get a chance to see this. Of course, it's Keanu Reeves in his latest adventure, John Wick. I'm thinking I'm back. I love that line. So I cannot wait to check out this latest installment. Of course, over the weekend, I went to see Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And folks, I'm going to probably have to come on here and do a separate live stream talking about this whole Spider-Verse universe, because I've seen the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse, around the time when it came out. And I thought it was, fine. I don't think I saw the whole movie. So it didn't really grab me at the time as to how awesome it is. Then my son really wanted to see Across the Spider-Verse. We went to see it this past weekend, and my mind was just blown away by it. So I went back and I rewatched Into the Spider-Verse, and I totally get the whole hype around that series. I get it, I'm into it, and I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out in March. So I'll probably come on here and talk about that series. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. I was blown away by it, and I'm very much looking forward to the next installment in that series. But let's see who is out there this evening. Of course, we have Johnny Fire. Yes, how are you doing, sir? Adrian is out there. How are you doing, Adrian? It is already, Thursday morning to you. So you are up late. I appreciate your joining at around 2:00 in the morning your time. Adrian, hope you're doing well. Internet users doing well. Good to see you. Tiana, how are you doing? Good to see you this evening. Jim, what's up, party people? We're doing great. Spicy 4K Action says hello, everyone. Yo, Adrian, saying hello to Adrian and Tiana. People saying hey to one another. People just greeting each other. I love people just sharing the love in the community. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, James, thoughts on Alfred Hitchcock's Frenzy, 1972? Well, my thought is I need to see it. That is one of his films I have not seen. So I do need to see Hitchcock's Frenzy. He's my favorite all-time director, but I haven't seen all of his movies, and that is one of them. So I need to check out Frenzy. Adrian says, hey to Jim. People saying hey to one another, that's a good thing. People just sharing greetings amongst one another. We love that. Hope y'all are having a great week so far. Jim says he's chilling. I'm chilling too. Nice. And that's what I love about this series, 70s Film Frenzy. It's just kicking back and just enjoying and appreciating some of these awesome films from this decade, my favorite decade in all of cinema. So Laren says, sorry if you've already covered Frenzy. I have not covered it, only to say that I have not seen it yet, that I need to see it. I need to jump into the world of Frenzy. Had fun during your last 70 stream, James. Ready for some good recommendations tonight? Well, I hope to not disappoint. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you all think as well. 5 on physical, 5 or not, perfectly balanced. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I definitely want to get all these on physical at some point, especially, the good thing is if they get some 4K releases of some of these, fingers crossed, I won't have to double dip. So watch John Wick 4 last night, one of the best 4K transfers I've seen. Yeah, I am expecting nothing but greatness and awesomeness from this. And, I'll probably, this will probably be a Father's Day gift to myself. I'll say, look, I want to carve out a couple hours on Sunday. What I want for Father's Day is I want to spend a little bit of time watching this movie. How about that? Of course, this is a mug that I received. I'm drinking my spearmint tea tonight. And this is Father's Day weekend's coming up, and it says, "My dad is a big deal." So I think this mug might have been meant for someone else, but I'm drinking my tea out of it tonight. Let's see here. Vin saying hello to Vin. Sup, Laren. Matt is saying hello to everybody. How are you doing, Matt? People saying hello to each other. Love Frenzy. Ethan loves Frenzy. Awesome. All right. Well, folks, I am excited about tonight. We got 10 films that we're going to cover in this part 3 of 70s Film Frenzy. If you have not caught the first 2 parts of this series, I highly recommend checking those out. I got links to those first 2 installments in the description of this video. And we also have a playlist for 70s Film Frenzy. I'm not sure if this will be like a long-term series or not. I intended this to be 2 parts that I did back in May. And I just thought, you know what? Let me do a 3rd part in June and let's see where this goes. So perhaps we'll have a 4th part, but let's see how this part goes on tonight. So let's see. We were literally chilling here in Chicago, in Ohio. It was in the 50s for a few days. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's kind of funny how the weather fluctuates and goes up and goes down, but that's the way it is with this weather. And here in Georgia, it can be a little bit tricky. But anyway, what's the first film tonight? The first of 10 films that I'm going to cover is a film that is in this wonderful, wonderful box set, America Lost and Found. Of course, we are just a few weeks away from what we expect to be a 50% off sale at Barnes & Noble and barnesandnoble.com, as well as Amazon for Criterion Collection titles. So very much looking forward to that. I've got some recommendation videos that I put out recently, and I'm going to recommend some more titles based upon some of these 70s films tonight. One of those is, of course, a film in this wonderful America's Lost and Found BBS story box set. And the film that I am going to cover here is a film that is a really, really nice film starring Jack Nicholson. And it's from 1970, and it's 5 Easy Pieces. Now, this is a film from 1970 starring Jack Nicholson. It's 5 Easy Pieces, and it is just a wonderful, wonderful film. It's a great early film for Jack Nicholson. This is from 1970, so it's 53 years ago. It comes in at 98 minutes. Of course, I love this set, by the way. You have a nice picture of Nicholson there, which is pretty awesome to see. So that is really cool. But this is a really, really cool film. I mean, it basically stars Jack Nicholson. He plays this character named Bobby Dupea. He is a pianist, and he is on a journey with his girlfriend to go back to his dad's house, and he's trying to find meaning in his life. And it's just a strong character-driven type film as you see the journey of his character. And it's just fantastic seeing the evolution of Dupé's character from the beginning of the film to where he ends up at the at the end. It's just one of those amazing type character studies, and Jack Nicholson delivers such a Nicholson-esque performance. That scene in the diner where he gives his order for the sandwich is just his chicken salad sandwich is a classic scene in cinema. And rumor is, I guess it's a little known fact that that particular scene, if you're familiar with it, he totally improvised it. Jack Nicholson apparently improvised that scene. It was not fully scripted. So that is apparently the story. Once you see the scene, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just a famous scene in this incredible movie that deals with themes of identity, rebellion, and just generally the quest for meaning in life. So just a great film starring Jack Nicholson. This is a film from Bob Rafelson. It's from 1970, and this is part of the America Lost and Found BBS box set. Now, there is also a separate edition from the Criterion collection of this film. So I'm going to go and actually do a screen share here. We're going to leverage the full power of technology tonight. We're going to, well, not the full power, just my very limited knowledge of it. We'll leave it at that. So we're going to go to the Criterion site, and we're going to enter in here 5 Easy Pieces. 5 Easy Pieces has a separate standalone release now that's available. So if you don't want to spring for the upcoming Criterion sale, I would say that this box set, fully worth it, a great one to consider checking out. The only thing that I wonder is, similar to that blue, white, and red 3 colors trilogy, I'm wondering if this is a candidate to get a 4K upgrade. I don't know, but that will be exciting. But assuming that that's not the case, and maybe you just want to get 5 Easy Pieces as a standalone film, you can do that. You can get spine number 546, which it has 546 in this box set, but you can get it separately as its own standalone case. And it is available for the $39.95. And during the sale, it will be on sale for the $20. So it's 5 Easy Pieces. It's Jack Nicholson's breakout supporting turn in Easy Rider. So following up from his supporting turn in Easy Rider, he teams up with Bob Rafelson, and he just delivers a powerful leading role in this incredible character study, 5 Easy Pieces. He plays Bob Dupea, a shiftless 30-something oil rigger and former piano prodigy, immune to any sense of responsibility. So this is the wonderful standalone edition of 5 Easy Pieces that you can check out. So that is the first film in this Film Frenzy Part 3 that I'm sharing with you right now, as I am about to sneeze, excuse me. But yeah, this is a great recommendation to consider, this America BBS Story box set. It includes great films like Head, Easy Rider. So there's an edition of Easy Rider in here. 5 Easy Pieces, Drive, he said, A Safe Place. It's got The Last Picture Show. Of course, The Last Picture Show is from Peter Bogdanovich, who is the director of oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, see, I am forgetting. What was that release that he just came out with? I apologize, folks. I got to go right back here. Targets. Excuse me. Yes. Peter Bogdanovich directed Targets, and he also directed this film here, The Last Picture Show. And it's got a 4K Ultra HD release as well from the Columbia Classics box set. So 5 Easy Pieces is part of this amazing box set, and it is the first film in this Film Frenzy Part 3. The second film is a film that I recently revisited that I absolutely love. It is the very first film from director Steven Spielberg, and it came out in 1971. And it stars Dennis Weaver. And the premise of this film is very simple. And I think part of the terror of this film is the simplicity of it. It's basically a man who is on the run from this truck driver, and this mysterious truck that is terrorizing him on the road. And it's called Duel. Now, this movie is getting a 4K Ultra HD release, a steelbook release from Groove that I desperately need to put a pre-order in for before I forget. So I think Groove is offering a 4K release as well as some other outlet that is not coming to my mind. But this is a fantastic film. This is Steven Spielberg's first directorial outing, and it is an absolutely amazing film. See all the wonderful contents inside? Isn't that amazing? See the stapled booklet? No, I'm just kidding. So not a whole lot to speak of on the inside here. It doesn't have a lot of special features, but the film on this little bare bones Blu-ray edition, the film is all you need for this edition right here. But I am looking forward to getting this on 4K Ultra HD. But yeah, Duel is just an amazing, amazing film to check out that I highly recommend. It's from 1971. It's a thrilling suspense, film. It's directed by Steven Spielberg when he was very young. And it's basically a TV movie. And it follows the journey of a terrified driver played by Dennis Weaver. He is, targeted by this mysterious truck that's on the road. You never actually see the face of the truck driver. You just see the truck. And the truck driver's identity, remains kind of hidden and in the shadows throughout this film. And it's just, absolutely amazing. And one of the little known facts about this film is that the sound, that menacing sound of the truck's engine, the filmmakers, in order to create that sound, they combine the roars of a Peterbilt truck, which is what I believe this is, and the sound of a roaring lion. So they kind of combine the sound of a roaring lion with the Peterbilt truck engine to create the menacing sound of this truck. So absolutely terrifying movie that I highly recommend, Duel from 1971. So let me see what you all have to say in the comments section here. Don't want to get too far here. Let's see here. Laren says, "You are a big deal, James. The mug doesn't lie." Well, I certainly appreciate that, Laren. Thank you. I'm drinking spearmint tea, by the way. I'm also a big peppermint tea person, but ever since I started getting spearmint's taken the lead over peppermint. So you spearmint up here, and then peppermint is just a notch below it. But I love them both. I love both mints. Good evening, says JG. Jim says, "I need the Last Picture Show." Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Sybil Shepherd, fantastic. How much is this box set? Well, let's see. The box set, I'll look it up right now. I won't share it on screen, but let's see. BBS. America Lost and Found, the BBS story. So it is available on Blu-ray, and the MSRP is $124.95. So during the sale at 50% off, it should be around $62.50. And I would say it is absolutely worth it. It's a fantastic Blu-ray set that I highly recommend. It's another Criterion Collection recommendation for you that I highly recommend. Five Easy Pieces is one of my favorites as well. Watched it a million times on VHS. The BBS set is great. Totally agree. They have not seen this one yet. It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, if you like Jack Nicholson, it's just one of those fantastic early performances from Jack Nicholson. This is before, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's before so many of his films, just an early role for him. And it's just phenomenal. The ending is heartbreaking. Yes. It really is. It's just one of those endings that just leaves you thinking, man, I agree. And Jim agrees. So Laren says, every year I contemplate getting that box set or the Cassavetes one, but always get random individual titles instead. Bless you. Yeah, I mean, and if you've never seen Five Easy Pieces and you're kind of wavering on, oh, I don't know if I want to spring for that box set, maybe you just get Five Easy Pieces, a separate edition, and just go with that. Let's see. Amos says, director of Paper Moon and Targets. Yes, Peter Bogdanovich. Paper Moon is fantastic. I have not seen Paper Moon, so I look forward to checking that out. But Targets, folks, I did a review of that on this channel. Targets is a very nice addition. That Blu-ray of that 1968 film is the last role for Boris Karloff. That Blu-ray of that 1968 film looks wonderful. I mean, it is a beautiful looking image. They did a great job with that restoration. Looks amazing. Duel, Duel is fantastic. I agree. It's a really good movie. Let's see. Holland says, hey, how are you doing, Holland? Holland says, Duel is on my list to watch still. Yeah, highly recommended, Holland. It's just a really, really good film. I mean, it's one of those films where, we all know the greatness of Steven Spielberg. We all know the great films he's done during the years. This is a nice film to check out, to just see, hey, where did he begin? Where did he start? What was his first film? This gives you everything you need to know about the greatness to come. I mean, he nails it in this directorial debut. He nails it, and it's just a foreshadowing of the brilliance to come from that amazing filmmaker. Great film, agreed. See, Vin says, I want to see Duel. See it, Vin. It's worth seeing. 5 easy duels. Yep. Holland, people saying hello to Holland, people saying hello to each other. So Spielberg directed an episode on the first season of Night Gallery. Highly recommended. I have not seen that. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. Ethan says Spielberg directed an amazing episode of Columbo around the same time as Duel. Okay. I will have to check that one out too. We have my man KB in the house. Hello again. I saw you over on Dell's channel there a little bit ago, KB. Hope you're doing well. Hope the festival is going well for you as well. I definitely got to talk with KB and get his thoughts on that Spider-Verse movie as well. See, Klaus Berger, have you already talked about The Exorcist? Somebody's reading my mind. Just hang in there on this stream here. Hang in there on this stream, Klaus. Let's see. Yes, he did, Ethan. Let's see here. And then KB in the house. Let's see. Merja says hello. How are you doing, Merja? Let's see. Laren says, oh, hey, Holland. People just saying hey to one another. If you haven't seen The Last Detail, that's my other favorite Nicholson. I have not. I've seen the cover for it, and I know I believe it's out on physical and on Blu-ray. I need to check that one out. I need to check that one out. What's up? Holland saying what's up to Laren and Merja. And Merja saying hello to Holland. So yeah, people saying hello to one another. So yeah, so far we've talked about 5 easy pieces, early role for Jack Nicholson, and an early directorial film from Steven Spielberg, his very first film. So those were the first 2 editions that I'm talking about tonight. Now, part 3, or not part 3, the third film I'm going to cover in this part 3 of 70s Film Frenzy. So film number 3 is a film that is just a gritty crime drama. It's just one of those, I love gritty crime dramas from the 1970s. And this is one of those that I'm going to go to IMDb, one of my favorite sources here. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And this is a film that has as its theme song one of my absolute favorite theme songs. And it's the theme song that opened up the film Jackie Brown from Quentin Tarantino. And it is the theme song from writer, singer Bobby Womack. It's called Across 110th Street. Now, interestingly enough, when the movie opens up, it opens up to this song, but it's a different rendition of the song than the rendition I'm used to listening to and hearing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But this is a really great crime thriller. It's called Across 110th Street. It's about two New York City cops go after amateur crooks who are trying to rip off the mafia and start a gang war. So it takes place in New York City, Harlem, and different areas of Manhattan. And it stars Anthony Quinn, Yaphet Kotto, Anthony Franciosa, excuse me. But this is just a great, gritty crime drama that I highly, highly recommend. And it's directed by Barry Shear, and it explores the sort of the intertwining lives of these characters that are caught up in a violent conflict between the mafia and the Harlem community. So it's just one of those gritty 1970s crime dramas. I like the characters in this movie. You have, of course, Anthony Quinn in here, who plays Captain Metelli. And Anthony Quinn, interestingly enough, if we go back into some more Criterion Collection recommendations here, Oh, got this essential Fellini set here. So this is a box set that I highly recommend. You may be wondering, okay, you're talking about Across 110th Street and Anthony Quinn. What does that have to do with Federico Fellini? Why are you holding up this box set? Well, Anthony Quinn stars in one of my favorite films in this set, and one of my favorite Fellini films is called La Strada. He stars in that film with Giulietta Messina, who is the wife of Federico Fellini, and it's one of the best films in this entire set. It's called La Strada. And so he stars as Zampano in that film, and then I guess 20 years later, he ends up starring in this film, Across 110th Street, with Yaphet Kotto, this actor here, this wonderfully gifted actor who plays Lieutenant Pope. And of course, Yaphet Kotto is famous for playing in a lot of roles, not only in this film, but also playing alongside Sigourney Weaver's Ripley in the movie Alien. But he also played in this awesome film called 110th Street, this crime drama from the early 1970s. You have Anthony Franciosa, who played Nick DeSalvo. And if I'm thinking correctly, let me see. Hold on. I think Anthony Franciosa also played in, if I'm not mistaken, he played in the Dario Argento film. Let me see. I think he played in the Dario Argento film Tenebrae, if I'm thinking correctly. Let me look here. I think he was in Tenebrae. See, I'm getting distracted here. But Anthony, yes, he did. He played in Tenebrae, my favorite, one of my favorite additions from last year from Arrow Video. But he played in this film, Across 110th Street, from 1972. A fantastic, gritty crime drama. So I absolutely love the theme song from Bobby Womack, one of my favorite songs from the 1970s. And this is a film that I highly, highly recommend. I don't own it on physical media, but I hope to at some point. So that is the third film that I'm talking about in this film frenzy. And we will move to the very next film. And then I'll jump into your comments and see what you think about what I'm sharing here. So the next film is a film that stars Robert Mitchum. It is from the early 1970s. It's from 1973, a great year in the 1970s. And this is several years after he starred in another film playing a very menacing character in this film, The Night of the Hunter. And I'm still waiting on my 4K of this from Kino Lorber. My Amazon app is telling me I'm supposed to get it on Saturday, but I'm hoping to get it because I want to share thoughts. I want to see that film on 4K and share thoughts on it on this channel. But the film I'm talking about for this 70s film frenzy is The Friends of Eddie Coyle, starring Robert Mitchum. It's a Peter Yates film. And man, this is such a nice film. I mean, of course, it stars Robert Mitchum. This from Peter Yates, and it just puts you into another gritty crime story. It's the gritty world of crime and loyalty. You know, it was released in 1973, and it stars Robert Mitchum. He's the title character. He's Eddie Coyle. He's a small-time criminal. He's trying to fight for his survival and helping the authorities. He's known for an authentic portrayal of the Boston underworld is part of what this film is known for. It's a very gritty look at the Boston underworld, and it's absolutely fantastic. This edition is fairly thin in terms of features from the Criterion Collection. It's got an audio commentary, but as you see on the inside, you have a nice stapled booklet, pretty thick stapled booklet, quite frankly, which is very nice. You have the disc, and it's just a fantastic, gritty crime drama set in Boston, and it is absolutely wonderful. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but it's another film about the Boston undercover crime. It's a character-driven thriller, and it's just fantastic. It explores friendship, betrayal. and just generally the consequences of living a life of crime. So you see that through the eyes of Eddie Quayle. And it says the friends of Eddie Quayle, but friend should be sort of in air quotes. And I think there's a reason why it's in bold here. But just a wonderful, gritty crime drama. And I would actually recommend this Criterion edition, The Friends of Eddie Quayle, is spine number 475. I can't say I I recommend this film, and if you don't have this Criterion edition, my hesitance is the fact that there is a Kino Lorber 4K, and I would just say that, you know, if you already have this on Criterion Blu-ray, great. The Kino Lorber 4K is a consideration. If you already have the Kino Lorber 4K, you might want to consider picking up this Criterion Blu-ray as well, because you've got special features on this that you do not have on the Kino Lorber. So there's not a lot of overlap in those special features. So that's something to consider, especially if you really love this film. But this is a great double feature recommendation because you see Robert Mitchum play different roles. One is this film from 1955, and then almost 20 years later, an aged actor playing in 1973, a older Robert Mitchum playing in The Friends of Eddie Quayle. So highly recommend checking The Friends of Eddie Quayle out. And I will cover one more of these. I'll go to number 5, which is a big one, which someone has already foreshadowed. And that is one that I do not have on physical media, but I will share my screen to share with you which one I'm talking about, as my son is yelling upstairs and making noise. But it's all good. Let's see. This is one of the scariest films you'll ever see, and it is, stars the wonderful Ellen Burstyn, Linda Blair, and Max von Sydow as Father Merrin. It is none other than The Exorcist, the film from 1973 from William Friedkin. I do not have this film on physical media. I do have The Exorcist 3 on 4K, the one that came out recently. I've not watched it yet. Let me know in the comments what you think of that transfer for that 4K. I've not seen it yet, so I need to watch that particular film. But I have seen The Exorcist. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I caught snippets of it here recently just to sort of refresh my memory of it, and it is absolutely terrifying. The story of basically demon possession of this girl, Linda, who's played by Linda Blair. And it's basically a teenage girl is possessed by a mysterious entity. Her mother seeks the help of two priests to save her daughter. And so it's just an amazing film, directed by William Friedkin, written by William Peter Blatty, and it stars Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, and Linda Blair. Now, this film won 2 Oscars. What did it win its Oscars for? The Academy Awards. What did it win for? It won for Best Writing and Screenplay based on material from another medium, William Peter Blatty, and it won for Best Sound. But yeah, The Exorcist is, when you see the transformation of Linda Blair during the possession, it's the gyrations she's going through physically with that possession. It is one of the freakiest and scariest movies that you will ever see. And it's once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's just incredibly scary and creepy, and it's one that sticks with you and you will never forget it. So let's see. Let me jump into the comments. So I'm halfway through 70s Film Frenzy Part 3. We've gone through 5 films so far. Let me see where we are. Where are we? Okay. See, The Last Detail has a 4K from Shout Factory. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Yes, an absolute classic, a fantastic music by Bobby. Yeah, Across 110th Street. You know, it's funny when the film opens, you hear the song, and I gotta be honest, I don't like that rendition. I like the rendition of the song that you hear on the opening of Jackie Brown and the version of the song on Spotify. I love that mix of it from Bobby Womack. but it's a great song. It's such a nuanced song in terms it covers so many different themes and areas. So I love it. Vin says, after a recent rewatch of Jackie Brown, I was listening to Across 110th Street a lot. Got to check that movie out. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie with some really good actors that have a great background. Again, Anthony Quinn, he played Zampano in La Strada, which is a Fellini film, and then a couple of decades later, he's playing in 110th Street, Across 110th Street. You got Yaphet Kotto, who is a very accomplished actor, been in so many great roles. He played in Alien and all these other great movies, and so great film. Let's see, La Strada is great. Yeah, I love La Strada. So yeah, so with this Fellini set, y'all are thinking about recommendations for the Criterion sale. This is a good one here. This set is amazing. Two of my favorite films are La Strada and Nights of Cabiria, both starring Giulietta Massina. Both amazing films, but really pretty much every film in that Fellini set is wonderful. So highly recommend it. La Strada is great. Agreed. So Martin Scorsese has repeatedly named La Strada as one of his favorite films. Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. It is a good one. It has documentary style to it, real life environment of early 70s. Yep. You mean Across 110th Street? Yep. Yaphet Kotto was a tremendous actor. He really was. He had such a presence and power about him. I just love seeing him on screen. Vin, great minds think alike. Yep, says Merja. La Strada simply a masterpiece. A lot of love for La Strada. Dell on movies. What's up, Dell? What's up? Saw your movie swap with Miss Bess Johnson there a little bit ago. Let's see. Love Night of the Hunter. Yeah, Night of the Hunter, folks. I'll tell you what. Whether you get this edition on Blu-ray from Criterion or the Kino Lorber 4K, I'm looking forward to the Kino Lorber 4K as well, because I'm going to put that together with this edition and have all those features together. But this edition is so nice, folks. I mean, check out the inside. You get 2 discs. You get a nice stapled booklet. I believe this was director Charles Lawton's only directorial film. I think this is the only film he directed, and he did an amazing job. And Robert Mitchum's character is brilliant, menacing, scary, mysterious. Man, you don't know what to make of Robert Mitchum in that film. He's so good in it. And Shelley Winters and the children, every part of that movie is amazing. And I cannot wait to see how that black and white photography looks on 4K. See, Sup Dell says spicy 4K. I really need to rewatch The Friends of Eddie Coyle. I need to rewatch it as well. It's been a while since I've seen it. So I need to check it out again. Have not seen it. Yeah, check out The Friends of Eddie Coyle. Dell saying a little spicy culture. How are you doing, culture? People saying hey to each other. Exchanging hellos. Merja says Mitchum has done such creepy roles in Night of the Hunter and Cape Fear. Okay, I'll be sure to check this one out too. That's right, Mitchum did the original Cape Fear, didn't he? Because then you had the remake with Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange several years later. Yep. Speaking of Mitchum, I recently saw him in a movie alongside Marilyn Monroe called River of No Return. Okay, cool. People saying, Merger saying hello again to Dell. And Ethan says, when I own a Criterion Blu-ray, I have a hard time pulling the trigger to upgrade to 4K. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. It's, well, and I think that decision is harder. I think it's harder when it's a Criterion 4K because you don't get any new special features. In the case of the Kino Lorber 4K, though, you are getting some special features that's not on this Criterion edition. So that's part of my justification for it. Plus, I love the movie, and it's one that I consider worthy of an upgrade. See, hey, Merja, worked hard on your name tonight. How'd I do? See, William Friedkin's masterpiece. Yeah, The Exorcist. Love Max. Yeah, Max von Sydow. Yeah. And of course, Seventh Seal. Max von Sydow has been in so many amazing movies. So many movies. Dell loves The Exorcist. Sorcerer is another 70s film from Friedkin. I have not seen that one. I need to check it out. So Jesper says The Exorcist still being scary after scary movie is a feat. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Exorcist 50 years later is still still scary. It's just, oh, see, Exorcist, I had nightmares, that moving furniture. Oh yeah. Oof. Ben says Exorcist is timeless. I agree. You did great. Don't worry about it. You did great, Dell, says Merger. I saw this when I was 8 and didn't sleep until I was 10. Yeah, I tell you what, it's oof, still won't watch The Exorcist on my own. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's not one you want to watch like alone in the house and the lights are off. It's like, no, that's quite all right. See, thanks, Merja. Merja says Maryland called that a grade Z cowboy movie in which the acting finished second to the scenery and the cinescope process. What did you think? Let's see. Called that a called that a grade Z cowboy movie in which the acting finished second to the scenery and the cinescope process. Which movie are you referring to, Merger? I'm not sure which movie you're referring to. See, I remember not sleeping. Let's see. Klaus says it's have a great character study of every person. The daughter, the mother, and the priest are superbly act class. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I got to pick up that Fellini set at the sale. That's a good time to pick it up. It's a good time to pick it up. It's a great value during the sale, and you get so many films, so many great films. It's the essential Fellini set. It's not all his films. That's why they call it essential Fellini, but it's pretty much all the ones you need to have. Let's see. Klaus says yes. Oh, wait. Merja, I liked it, but I prefer other Westerns. Oh, okay. Klaus says yes. Classic is Night of the Hunter. Yeah, agreed. Lillian Gish is really good. Let's see. Matt says Night of the Hunter is so good as a film, you will lose yourself in the film, regardless of whether it's Blu-ray or DVD or 4K. Yeah, and Matt, that's a great reminder that as much as we love 4K and Dolby Vision and all this technical stuff, and it's all great, and we like to really appreciate these great transfers and restorations, and that's great stuff. It does come down to it's about the movies, it's about the films, it's about if it's a really good movie and you're watching it on VHS or DVD, it's all good. Whatever format you're watching it on, if it's a great movie and you're enjoying it, it's all good. I really need to watch Night of the Hunter. Yes, Dell, highly recommended. Whether you get this version of it from Criterion or the Kino Lorber, it's a really, really good movie. I love River of No Return. Wonderful. What's up, James? What's up, Steve? Things are going well. It's Wednesday night. It's miércoles. It's the middle of the week. It's hump day. Tomorrow is Thursday, the unofficial beginning of the weekend. Got a busy day work-wise, but I'm excited. We might also be getting Criterion Collection titles, so I'm looking forward to that. Steve saying hello to Dell. Oh, Dell, you haven't seen it. You have to. It's great. Yeah, Merger saying Night of the Hunter. I agree, Merger. KB says, I've never owned The Exorcist on physical. I don't own it either. Now I'm getting ready to have the 4K. Yikes. Yeah, I've got to, has The Exorcist, now I've got The Exorcist 3 on 4K. Has The Exorcist been announced for 4K? Is that a thing? Is that happening this year? See, speaking of Von Sydow in the 70s, I recommend the film 3 Days of the Condor. It stars Robert Redford. Okay. We're going to hear about Robert Redford in just a little bit in a film here. That's what I keep hearing, Merja. Okay. See, River of No Return that Marilyn Monroe did with Mitchum. Best parts are her singing. Okay, Marilyn Monroe. So yeah, so let's see. We are halfway through. We got 5 films down. The 5 films we've covered so far are 5 easy pieces from 1970. The Bob Rafelson film starring Jack Nicholson. Duel, Steven Spielberg's directorial debut starring Dennis Weaver. Highly recommend that film. It's a really, really good film. Across 110th Street, the film starring Anthony Quinn and Yaphet Kotto from 1972. Really gritty crime drama. The Friends of Eddie Coyle is another gritty crime drama, this time in Boston. This stars, of course, Robert Mitchum, who also starred in The Night of the Hunter. That's from 1973, The Friends of Eddie Coyle. And then the fifth film is from 1974. It is The Exorcist. Oh, sorry, from 1973. It is The Exorcist. And that stars, of course, Linda Blair and, oh my gosh, Ellen Burstyn. Ellen Burstyn. I'm bad with names, folks. So yeah, those are the first 5 films from this list for Film Frenzy Part 3. And now it's time to get to the last 5. So the next film is a film I also do not own on physical. So I am going to share my screen again. We're going to share this screen to death tonight, folks. We're going to wear this screen out. And this is a film starring one of my favorite actors, Mr. Gene Hackman. Folks, who can beat Gene Hackman? Nobody can beat Gene Hackman. Nobody. He is one of the all-time greats. And this is a film from 1974 that stars Gene Hackman, and it is called The Conversation. And folks, this is just an amazing film. It is a psychological thriller. It is directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So that's the same director as The Godfather. And of course, Coppola drew inspiration, for this film, The Conversation, from his own experiences with like wiretapping, the consequences of our actions. And it's just a great film. It's from 1974. I love this cover. It's a film from Francis Ford Coppola, right around the time that he was making those Godfather films. So it says, a paranoid, secretive surveillance expert has a crisis of conscience when he suspects that the couple he is spying on will be murdered. So just a fantastic film. You look at the cast here. Part of what I love about films of this vintage, we're talking about 70s film frenzy. So these are films that came out like around 50 years ago. And so, you're looking at audio wiretapping equipment and audio equipment from 1974 that this movie came out, like 50 years ago. So what I love about films like this is you get to see some of that antiquated equipment that they used back then, similar to another edition I would recommend from Criterion, which is one of my first editions I picked up, called Blowout from 1981. I talk about that film all the time on this channel because it's one of my first Criterion editions, and it's one of my absolute favorite editions from Criterion. John Travolta plays a sound man in that film, and so you're seeing him with that 1970s, early 1980s equipment, audio equipment. Similar case here with Gene Hackman's character in The Conversation. You see this old, antiquated equipment, and that's part of what I really appreciate about films like this. So you got Gene Hackman, he plays Harry Call. You got the great John Cazale, who played Stan. John Cazale also starred alongside Robert De Niro in The Deer Hunter. Wonderful actor. He died, at an early age, unfortunately. You have this wonderful cast that you see listed here. Terry Garr played Amy. You have a young pre-Star Wars Harrison Ford here playing Martin Stett in this movie. So just an absolute fantastic film with a great cast. The Conversation, starring Gene Hackman. Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman. All right. I am going to go to our film number 7, and then I'm going to pop out and go back into these comments to hear what you think about these films. But this next film is another film I do not own on physical, so I'm going to stay right here on IMDb. And this is a film, folks, that it's one of those films that you look at it and you realize, okay, this is a film from 50 years ago, but it is touching on themes that resonate really powerfully with what is going on in the world today, in our country today. And it is a film that I want to bring up here. It is a film that has a connection to this film right here that I am looking forward to watching. And I'll bring it up right here. It's called Cornbread, Earl and Me. This is a film from 1975, and this film has a fairly simple premise. It's basically an urban film. It's about life in the early 1970s, and it's about these Black youths in this urban setting And it's about a 12-year-old is traumatized by the murder or the killing of his friend, who was a star basketball player. So the cool thing about this film, of course, is when you look at the cast of this movie, the 12-year-old that witnessed the killing of his friend was played by a little known actor, and little known at the time, named Lawrence Fishburne. So the 12-year-old that you see in this movie, uh, who witnesses the death of his hero Cornbread, is Lawrence Fishburne. You see a 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne in this movie. So if we pull up the photos, let's see here. So this here is the character Cornbread. This is the basketball player hero, had a great future ahead of him until tragedy struck. Uh, you see Lawrence Fishburne here. Of course, this is Larry Fishburne. He's the young 14-year-old. This is well before he played, Morpheus in The Matrix, and long before he teamed up again with Keanu Reeves in the John Wick movies. You see, I don't know if you can see this. This is Lawrence Fishburne today, and this is him as a 14-year-old kid in this film, Cornbread, Earl and Me. But this film touches on themes of social justice that we've experienced here in America, with the unjust killings of people, unarmed citizens. And this film touches on that, and the way that the story plays out and how things happen and the aftermath of it, in terms of how the police are handled and how justice is dealt with. You see the parents of Cornbread. You see the parents of the character played by Lawrence Fishburne. You see how the kids react to the situation. You see the neighborhood. It's just really interesting seeing all the dynamics play out in terms of what happens in this story, and just how justice is looked at in this film. It is definitely a reminder that this is 50 years ago, but it talks about issues that are still relevant today. And that is what I would leave you with this film from 1975. It is called Cornbread, Earl and Me. So you may not have heard of it, but it is definitely very prescient, and it speaks to issues that we're seeing in our society today. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to come out here and see what y'all have to say. What do y'all have to say? Do y'all have anything to say? I don't know. Let me see here. Oh, where did I leave off the comments? Where did I leave off here? Okay. JG, I have not seen The Conversation yet on my list. Yeah, it's a good movie. Internet user, I now have that score playing in my head, but that toilet scene. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Francis Ford Coppola was putting out so many great films in the 70s. Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I think, if I'm thinking about this correctly, Apocalypse Now, right? Apocalypse Now as well, right? Yep. Let's see. Cornbread is a good one. Yes, it is. Cornbread, Earl and Me, folks, is a really, really good one. I do not own it on physical, but it is a really, really good movie. Let's see. I'm skipping somebody. Haven't seen Cornbread, Earl and Me in a long time. Okay. Need to revisit it. Yeah, I highly recommend it, Del. It's a really, really good film. It's heartbreaking on so many levels, but it's a reminder of things that we're seeing, in current day, So see, Merger says, never heard of it. Adding it to my huge list. Add it to the list, Merger. Add it to the list. See, Klaus, need to see Cornbread. Add it to my watch list. Yes, Apocalypse Now, JG. So yeah, Francis Ford Coppola, he put out a lot of great films in the 1970s. The Godfather is certainly, the Godfather films are among those films, and so many great films from this decade. And for me, the 1970s is just one of the great decades of cinema. As I said on the first two parts, I love the aesthetic of the 1970s. I love the vibe of the 70s. I love the groove of the 70s. I love the way people dressed, the way they talked. There's so many great and interesting things going on in that decade. And just seeing these films is like seeing a time capsule of that period. And I just absolutely love this period of cinema. All right, so we're making our way down the list here, and we've got 3 films to go. We've covered 7 films of the 10 that we're going to cover in this part 3 of 70s Film Frenzy. And we got 3 more to go. So the 8th film that I'm going to cover is a film that I actually own on physical. So let me see here. I own 2 of the last 3 on physical. So this 8th film I own on physical, and it is sort of a part of a trilogy from this director. It's part of the Paranoia trilogy from director Alan J. Pakula. And this is a film that stars Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman in a journalistic story that is a breakdown of the investigation of the events that led to a president of the United States getting on a Marine helicopter and doing this here. I am not a crook, and getting on a helicopter and saying, I am out of here, and flying off into the sunset. It is All the President's Men. This is the film from 1976 that stars, excuse me, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman as Woodward and Bernstein. They are the Washington Post reporters that basically broke the story of the Watergate scandal that ended up bringing down the presidency of Richard M. Nixon, Richard Milhouse Nixon. So this is the 2-disc special edition of the film. It's on Blu-ray. I don't think it's available on 4K, but this is the Blu-ray edition I have. And this has a great cast, folks. But this is a wonderful film. It's the 3rd part of a 2-part trilogy. And I got a couple more Criterion recommendations related to this. These are the first 2 parts. This is from 1971. This is the film called Clute. This stars Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland. Great, great film. This is Alan J. Pakula's first film in his Paranoia trilogy. This film was followed up in 1974 by this film starring Warren Beatty called The Parallax View. This is from 1974. And then the Paranoia trilogy wraps up with this film from 1976 from Alan J. Pakula called All the President's Men. So these are basically the 3 films in the Paranoia trilogy from director Alan J. Pakula. Now, my question is, excuse me, of course, we have these first 2 films that are on Criterion. I'm wondering, are we going to get a Criterion of this film? So been kind of on the watch to see, are we going to get a Criterion of All the President's Men? I would love to see that happen. You know, wouldn't it be great? Maybe tomorrow. Wouldn't it be awesome if we heard an announcement of 4K of this edition of this film on Criterion? I would love that. So, but yeah, anyway, All the President's Men is just an amazing film. It's great acting from Redford, great acting from Dustin Hoffman. They are the Washington Post reporters, Woodward and Bernstein, who are breaking down the case of Watergate. And of course, apparently, little known fact about the film, Woodward and Bernstein played a big role consulting on the film to give the film its authenticity. So that was a big, big part of the film. So the real life Woodward and Bernstein, they served as consultants, and that really helped to make sure that the film was authentic and that they, paid a good amount of attention to detail in delivering an authentic experience. So that was very, very nice. So we have All the President's Men, and then I'm going to go to the 9th film, go back to the comments. Then I'm going to wrap it up with the last film, and we're going to ride off into the sunset with this live stream. So All the President's Men, fantastic film. Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, great cast all the way around. And I'm going to go to, actually, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go to IMDb real quick because I'm going to talk about this film a little bit more. And then I'm going to park here on IMDb because my next film is not, well, I don't have it on physical. So I'll stay here. This is All the President's All the President's Men from 1976, Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford. Great film, folks. But let's see who all was in this film. You had Dustin Hoffman, he played Carl Bernstein. Robert Redford played Bob Woodward. You had Jack Warden in this film. You had Martin Balsam, who played Howard Simons. Martin Balsam has played in a number of great films. He played in Psycho from 1960, the Alfred Hitchcock film. He also played as one of the 12 jurors in 12 Angry Men, which is a Sidney Lumet film, which is a connection to the next film, which is that we'll talk about, which is a Sidney Lumet film. But you have Hal Holbrook in here, who played Deep Throat, Jason Robards. You just had a great cast. Ned Beatty, who played in the Superman movies, he's in this. Just so many wonderful actors. Stephen Collins is in this. F. Murray Abraham. So just a great cast all the way around for All the President's Men. Great drama. Highly, highly recommend this film. So let me know in the comment section what you think of All the President's Men. That is film number 8. Film number 9, we go from the newspaper to television networks. And this is Network, the 1976 film from Sidney Lumet, the director of 12 Angry Men, the director of Dog Day Afternoon, the director of so many amazing films, Serpico, just an awesome, awesome director. He directed this film, Network, which stars an all-star cast that includes Faye Dunaway and Peter Finch, who both won Academy Awards for their performances in this film. You had William Holden. You had Robert Duvall, who was in the Godfather movies. Ned Beatty, again, he played in the Superman movies. You just have a great cast all the way around in this amazing movie. And this movie is basically, about the life of, television network ratings, just that whole business side of television is played out for real in this movie in a way that really gives you a glimpse into what it's like in the television industry, the behind the scenes look of the television industry, sort of a satirical take on the television industry. And so it's just fantastic. The hunger for ratings, the behind the scenes machinations and everything that goes into it, just absolutely fantastic. So it exposes the manipulative nature of the media. It sort of blurs the lines between news and entertainment, which is something that I've sort of observed, that a lot of the news that we see today on some of these networks is really more entertainment journalism, and Network kind of plays on those themes as well. Peter Finch, I mentioned, won the Academy Award. Of course, he won that award posthumously. So he was the first actor to get an Academy Award posthumously. He passed away before the Academy Awards ceremony. He won the award for his performance as the news anchor Howard Beale, and that made him the first actor to receive the honor of an Academy Award after his death. So Network is just an extraordinary film. I highly recommend it. Faye Dunaway, wonderful in this movie. Everybody is just great. Just a really, really good film. This film, I believe, was nominated for Best Picture. It won, I think, several Academy Awards. It lost out on Best Picture to, I believe, Rocky. So that is something to know about this film, Network. So let me stop sharing and go into the comments and see what you all are saying. Then I got one more film to cover. We'll cover that film, jump back into the comments, put a big, bad red bow on this thing, call Wednesday night a night, and get ready for Thursday. So let's see what we have here. Where am I? Oh, okay, Apocalypse Now. All the President's Men. Merja approves of that one, a good one. Amen. Before the internet journalism, I love President's Men. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Great chemistry between Hoffman and Redford. See, Hoffman had a good 1976 with this and Marathon Man. Yeah, I tell you what, Dustin Hoffman. Let's not forget Dustin Hoffman. A couple more Criterion recommendations. If you're a big Dustin Hoffman fan, for this upcoming sale, I highly recommend The Graduate. That's spy number 800 in the Criterion collection. This is a really good film, folks. This is from 1967. This is a great, great film. Director, I think it's Mike. Is it Mike Nichols? Yeah, Mike Nichols, I believe, right? Great film. And then Straw Dogs. This film from 1971 has some disturbing scenes in it, but this is a really, really good film. Fantastic film. Those are a couple more Dustin Hoffman recommendations in the Criterion collection. See, Clute. Clute's a good one. Jane Fonda won an Academy Award for Best Actress for that film. The Parallax View, so underrated, brilliant film. Good film, good performance by Beatty. I have a digibook of All the President's Men. Yep. Yeah, I think it might be the digibook version of this. I have just this regular Blu-ray case, but yeah, it's a good movie. Marathon Man is great, 100%. That Kino Lorber with of Marathon Man 4K. Dustin Hoffman. Is it safe? Is it safe? Love that movie. Kramer versus Kramer. I don't have that on physical, but that's a good movie. All the President's Men is a classic one. Yep. And Papillon. But my favorite Dustin Hoffman from the 70s is Little Big Man. Okay, I have not seen that one. I have to check it out. Oh, I read 70s. It was 76. My bad. Okay. Little Big Man sounds really interesting. Merja, my favorite 70s Hoffman is Straight Time. I have not seen that one either. I need to check that one out. Okay. JG loves Network. Scarecrow is a great Hackman Pacino film. Okay. I have not seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. Hard Copy Blues. Vin. Strangely enough, I haven't seen that. I really recommend Little Big Man. Okay. Dell, I'm mad as heck. I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah. Not going to take it anymore. See, the great William Holden. Yes. Great film. 100%. Faye is fabulous. Yeah, Faye Dunaway. Isn't Faye Dunaway great? She is just great. I mean, you know, she's just terrific. Her and Warren Beatty and Bonnie and Clyde. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just watched Network last month. Yep. See, Dell, JG's saying hello to Dell. Straw Dogs, violent but great. Yeah, Straw Dogs, there are certain aspects of it that are a little bit disturbing, that may disturb you. So be aware of that, but it is a really good movie. Really good movie. Good performance by Dustin Hoffman. It's just fantastic. Straw Dogs is great. I still need to see All the President's Men. Thanks, James. Have a great night. You as well, Laren. You as well. The Candidate, Robert Redford. Okay. Please watch Straight Time, James. Okay. I will have to put that on the list. In fact, I'm going to write it down right now. Straight Time. Straight Time. Okay. Let's see here. Or actually, I should write it down on here. On my script here for this live stream. Straight Time. Yes, I do use scripts for my videos and my live streams. I do not memorize all this stuff. There's no way I can do that. If you'd like another recommendation, watch The Gambler from 1973. I believe it stars James Caan. Well, if it stars James Caan, I'm there. I'm there. I love him. He's great. James Caan is great, folks. Robert Duvall is fantastic. Whoever, Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman, Yaphet Kotto. All these actors are amazing. So whatever they're in, I'm there. Straw Dogs is hard to watch, but it's a great one. I agree. Have not seen Straw Dogs. I recommend it. Faye is also in Little Big Man. Okay. Laren, Straight Time is really good. Yeah, I wrote it down. Papillon is beautiful. Gonna write that one down as well. So Straight Time and Papillon. Okay. See, I'm getting recommendations from y'all. This is good stuff. I really do appreciate it. All right. 9 films down. This is 70s Film Frenzy Part 3. We've gone through 9 films. We got one more film to go in this 70s Film Frenzy, and I am looking at it right here. This is a film that is a remake of a classic horror film from the 1950s. This film is from the 1970s, and it has a cameo appearance from one of the actors in the original 1950s film. This is a film that is just one of those great, it's an example of a great remake that is at least as good as the original, might be better than the original film. It is none other than the 1978 film Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This film has a great cast. You read at the top here: Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Leonard Nimoy, Jeff Goldblum, Veronica Cartwright, in a Philip Kaufman film. Folks, all you have to do is read those names at the top. You don't need to know anything else. This is a great, great film. Wonderful film. It's creepy. I love the way this film is paced. I love the way it plays out. It is beautiful. This is the 4K Ultra HD edition from our friends at Kino Lorber. It's an upgrade for me over this Blu-ray edition that I've had for years. And it's just one of the great films of all time. Look at this. Look at this picture here at the back here of Brooke Adams. Doesn't she look just scary? Oh, man. But I love the artwork on this edition. This is the Scream Factory edition. This is the Kino Lorber edition. And if you, I think there may be reversible. Yeah, it's actually reversible. It reverses. It's funny that this reverses to, I believe, the cover that the Kino Lorber has here. So actually, let me confirm that. Does it do that? Yeah, it does. I don't think I ever knew that. I think I just learned something new about this Blu-ray edition I've had for years. Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, I'm gonna put this back here. But yeah, great Blu-ray edition from Scream Factory. And this is the 4K from Kino Lorber. It's basically about these spores from outer space. They arrive in San Francisco and people begin to get transformed and replaced. It's the invasion of the body snatchers. It's the classic horror tale. Don't go to sleep. It's just one of the scariest films of all time. And I highly, highly recommend it to anybody. Let's see. If you'd like another recommendation, watch The Gambler from 1973. I believe it stars James Caan. Okay, yep. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm repeating some of these comments. Laren says, heck yeah, Vin, about Straight Time being really good. Yeah. Write down Little Big Man too. Okay. I'll write it. Okay. If you're twisting my arm, okay. I'm writing it down now. Little Big Man. Okay. Thank you very much. See, Laren, oh, I thought that was 10. Now I'm at 10. So scary. See here. Donald Sutherland. He's a good one. He's a great one. Donald Sutherland, you gotta love him. Another one I just watched for the first time. Have seen the original several times before, though. Yeah, it's a good movie. That movie still scares me. Yeah, it's. I tell you what, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is just one of those films you're like, ooh, super scary. Thanks for another great stream, James. Got some films to add to the watch list. I can't wait for July and Criterion month. Yeah, folks, we're just a couple of weeks away from what we hope to be, fingers crossed, a 50% off Criterion collection sale. I've shared some recommendations of some Criterion titles to consider, including the America Lost and Found BBS box set, the Essential Fellini box set. Those are a couple of box sets to consider. The other films in the Alan J. Pakula trilogy, Clute and the Parallax View. A couple more films starring Dustin Hoffman, who's featured in All the President's Men, The Graduate, and Stray Dogs. So I've tried to recommend some Criterion collection titles as well as part of this film frenzy. So hope you will be able to take advantage of that. So Merja says, laugh out loud. Thanks. But yeah, I hope that y'all have enjoyed another 70s film frenzy. We have another film frenzy in the books. Let me know in the comments section if you're watching this now or if you are watching this on a replay. What do you think of this series? Should we do a part 4? Do you like this series? Do you like this format? What do you think about this third installment? If you haven't checked out parts 1 and 2, go check those out when you get a chance. And also be on the lookout for if we get news tomorrow of the Criterion Collection September 2023 titles, I'll plan to come on here around 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow and share my reactions to those titles. So hope that you all enjoyed this session of 70s Film Frenzy. I'll take a look at a few more of these comments and we will wrap this bad boy up. Let's see. The ending as always leave me a bad taste. Such have had ending in a positive note. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I have to recommend my new favorite director, Shane Meadows. This is England, especially. Okay, Shane Meadows. Okay. Thank you, James, for awesome streaming. You're welcome, Klaus. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Matt, great time, James. Thanks, James, and everyone. Bring on part 4. Okay. I appreciate that. I will definitely keep that in mind. I love talking 70s films. Keep this series going, says Laren. All right. Well, on that note, I will have to keep that under advisement and strongly, strongly consider it. And see, JG Dollar. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. God bless you. I appreciate that very much, JG. And thank you so much for joining. He says, another fun one. Yes, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. We try to make these fun. The 70s for me is so easy to talk about. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite decade of cinema. So always enjoy talking 70s films. Really do appreciate y'all joining tonight. Hope you can join me tomorrow if we get the Criterion news. We'll talk about the Criterion titles and looking forward to sharing thoughts on other areas of physical media in the days ahead, leading up to what we expect to be the July 50% off sale at Barnes & Noble and barnesandnoble.com. I'm going to catch these last few comments here. Another fun one. Merja, thanks and have a great day. And write down, this is England as well. Okay, I'll write it down now. This is England as I'm closing out. This is England. Very much. Thank y'all. And thank y'all for the recommendations tonight for these titles. Culture says later. Let's see. Love everyone's enthusiasm. JG, I love it as well. Keep the enthusiasm high. Have an awesome rest of your Wednesday. For those of you on the other side of the pond, happy Thursday morning already. Hope y'all have a great Thursday and rest of the week. And we'll look to see you next time in the movies. Peace. Have a great night, everybody.